Today we're gonna be roasting Dr. Phil. Now, listen, I know what you're thinking. How do you come to the point in your life where you want to roast an old guy so fat that his willy's probably stuck half inside of him? You know, he's probably a pretty nice fellow as well. You know, sings songs at the old man nursery, I don't know.
Hey, it's just what I wanted to do. He was almost old enough.
But he probably makes more money in an episode than I'll make in a year, so, you know, I really don't care that I'm making fun of him. He'll probably just promote his book to make himself feel better.
Well, fancy stools. Right. I've had a lot of fun with this book, and this book is going into broad distribution. It'll be in every bookstore in America today. So everybody.
Nobody cares. So that's gonna be the first point of this Dr. Phil rant. He is so money hungry. Before you're like, that's not a bad thing. Yeah, it is. You shouldn't be money hungry if you make $70 million a year, dumbass.
Fire, court fire from the big guns. These is not revolvers. Violence only creates confusion. It ain't a problem solver. Let's go. Let's get us.
This has been such a fun project because I did this with Jay. He's got his publishing company, Bird Street Books. Life Code is about finding ways in your life to win, and win in a big way.
Life Code was my attempt to make a book that covers the most broad subjects ever. That way, if anybody on my show ever has any problems, I probably covered in about 2 sentences in my 300-page book, but I can still refer them to the book because it goes over life, and that could really mean anything. Hey, you're having problems with your dishwasher? I covered that in 3 words in my book Life Code, so you should go out there and spend $20 on my new book. Which, by the way, Dr. Phil, your audio book is still on YouTube. It's been there for 6 months. You still haven't taken it down. Nobody has to pay the $20. They can just go on YouTube and listen to it for 11 hours. So if you haven't caught on already, basically what I'm trying to say is he makes enough money from his show. 70 mil, what the heck?
Well, fancy stools.
There was no reason he needs to self-promote in every single show. And I would show you more examples of him self-promoting, but I can't if every single Dr. Phil episode that's on YouTube looks like this.
Be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
It's shit! So saying he's a manipulator is probably kind of a bold statement. You're probably wondering why that makes any sense. I mean, Dr. Phil's nice. He helps everybody on his show. Now let's read some reviews of people who actually went in person to see Dr. Phil. You know, the general experience of going and seeing Dr. Phil in person, you know, when the camera isn't always recording. He has to throw his 2 cents in. This man has to throw his 2 singular cents in. I don't know why he put quotations there. Now this guy's comment was it didn't really help at all. All he did was call Dr. Phil names, which by the way, Dr. Phil, you're fat! I mean, the only thing I really agree with on this is that this person says they don't like Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, Dr. Phil, he's kind of annoying, he's kind of manipulative, which I'll get to in a second, but man, is Ellen annoying. Every time she speaks, I just want to kill myself.
Do you want to meet her? Yeah! Come on out, Nikki!
Look at her butt. This dude named Michael used to ride motorcycles. Dick bigger than a tower. I ain't talking about ice.
This person right here brings up a very smart comment. They said it's quite embarrassing that these adults need to come onto his show for Dr. Phil to give him the most obvious advice ever. I mean, you should know this.
Wait a second, so what part of the family, what part of the money?
The entire family.
Okay, so what do you do?
I make music and I make millions.
Now, you see, what I do is I take buckets of grease and I pour them over my head on a regular basis.
Nick says homelessness has made him stronger and he'll reap the rewards from it for the rest of his life. I'm not saying that he has made the best choices.
Yeah, no shit. Dr. Phil, no shit. So this person on October 17th, 2015, which was about a year ago, back when I was making Clash of Clans Let's Plays.
I say that so nervously. I'm gonna do some hug raps. Well, yeah, I have 16, 32, how many is that? 32, let me do the math.
They said they recently saw a very troubled woman come onto the show, and he did nothing for her besides make sarcastic comments while looking into the camera and trying to elicit laughter from the audience. Which, by the way, another staff member held up signs telling us what to do, including clapping or gasping. Are you serious? Hey, my name is Dr. Phil. I'm just gonna say some bullshit that sounds good. Okay. This basically means that Dr. Phil is forcing people to clap or gasp or whatever to make anything he wants to sound good, because he could say the most bullshit thing ever. He could say anything. He'd say, I just had sex with some kids.
He was almost old enough.
But if he holds up the sign, people are gonna clap, but, you know, he obviously doesn't say that. So people watching at home are gonna be like, wow, okay, he must be right. Everybody just clapped. Just kind of pisses me off just a little bit, you know? Just a T-bit now, lad. Now, Dr. Phil, he does this really annoying thing on his show, where he'd be like, up next, and he'll show somebody saying something pretty dramatic, and then a reaction from the other person, because usually on Dr. Phil, it's just a debate between two people, so he'll take two different clips and try to make it seem more dramatic than it is, and when you actually watch the entire thing, like, uncut or whatever, you'll realize that he just took two clips and added them together to make it look more dramatic. Like, okay, I'll show you a prime example.
And later,
I went there to do my job, and I ended up getting robbed.
You was dumb enough to leave your keys in my room asking for it.
it ain't her you got to worry about.
To this, I went there to do my job, and I ended up getting robbed. You know, I work hard for everything I have. She's never worked a day in her life, so what does she care to just take something that's not hers? And she thinks it's funny.
You've listened to what she's said. Does any of that matter to you?
Well, what I think is funny is how my homeboy went through your bag, and I personally watched.
It's two different things. He also does the same thing with lie detector tests. He'd be like, up next, we're gonna do a lie detector test. Oh, and this person, see if he's lying. And then they either wait until like the very, very end, or sometimes they just make a part 2, but they advertise it in part 1. And it's even actually happened before where he didn't even do the polygraph test when he said he was going to. But that's no big deal.
Because I could care less whether you four get along.
I am the one, the way your son.
Oh, baby, it's triple.
I'm sitting in the boss's chair right now.
That's right.
Dr. Phil, I'm not even gonna lie to you, mate. You look really old in this video. Don't ever wear that combination of clothes again. Honestly, just don't.
And I wanted to go up there and I wanted to tell her what to say to him.
Ham!
And then the poor young man afterwards, the second guest.
Easy, sister.
Oh yeah, just easy, sister.
Gosh, I
Take
know,
it easy,
I know, but
Meet Dr. Phil's wife, the 59-year-old woman who sells horrible-looking products on a site that looks like it was made in 2007. Also, I go onto her page, right? And she says, from my heart to yours, she's trying to profit off of domestic violence. She's literally freaking selling candles and giving them a price off because of domestic violence? What? Okay, now I see. Apparently all the profit goes to a company that I guess helps domestic violence, but still, why candles? Out of all things, you're selling candles. Candle! Now, there's not really anything wrong with his wife. To be honest, the only reason I'm making fun of her is because she sells beauty products and she looks like this.
sex.
Okay.
Dancing like a retard.
Dr. Phil, this is gonna be a changing day in your life.
Retard. Dancing like a retard. Feels really weird. You don't know anything about me, and you don't know. Feels really weird. All I'm doing is Xanax, cocaine, and marijuana. Mother, shut up. Quit. Yeah, right. Feels really weird. Come on, get real. Sweetheart, nobody wants to look at your fat roll.
There he is. He's dead, Mom. We killed him.